Hey, welcome to the Event Answer Studio. Today I want to show you how to put together this mermaid themed balloon bouquet. It makes a great gift and beautiful decoration for your next mermaid themed party. So follow along and I'll show you exactly how to build it. The base of the bouquet is made from 10 11-inch balloons, and I've got these in 3 assorted colors. Now I'll be using my electric balloon inflator as well as this balloon sizer box to get all of my balloons sized correctly. If you'd like to learn how to make a sizer box, I've got a tutorial linked above. So first of all, I'm going to inflate my balloon till it's almost its full size, and then I'm going to press that balloon up against the 9-inch hole in my sizer box and slowly let air out of the balloon until it just fits through that circle. Then I'll know that it's exactly 9 inches in diameter. I'll then tie it in a knot and repeat this with my other balloons, so I've got 10 of these 9-inch balloons ready to be tied into sets of 5. Now to make a set of 5, I'm first going to create a pair by taking 2 balloons, wrap the nozzle around twice, and tie them together in a simple knot. To this pair, I'm going to add 1 more balloon, so take a single balloon and wrap the nozzle of that around the nozzles of the pair, and then tie it to one of the nozzles in the pair so they're nice and secure. Now make 1 more pair just like we did a moment ago, and we're going to join that pair and trio together by overlapping the nozzles of each other so they're touching, and then wrap 1 balloon from the pair and 1 balloon from the trio around each other, and that will secure them into a set of 5. Repeat this step so you've got 2 of these sets of 5, and then I'm going to take 2 11-inch balloons and double stuff them one inside the other and fill it with water, so it's about the size of a tennis ball before tying it in a knot. Now to this water balloon, I'm going to tie the end of a 260 balloon directly to the nozzle of that water balloon, and this will give us some stability and weight to the base of our arrangement. So I'm going to take my first set of 5 balloons and set it flat on a table, and then underneath those central nozzles, I'm going to slip the water balloon that we just prepared underneath those nozzles and take that 260, stretch it tight, and weave it in and out of a couple of those balloons, securing the 2 of them together. Now on top of this, I'm going to take my second set of 5 and join the 2 of them together using that 260 tail. As I set these balloons on top, I want to pay attention to the colors of the balloons so I don't have too many of the same color right next to each other. I also want to make sure the balloon on top is sitting between 2 balloons below it. And as I press gently down on the top balloons, I'm going to take that 260, pull it nice and snug, and wrap it up over the top of the new balloons and down underneath the balloons below it. By weaving the 260 between the 2 layers, we're able to secure all these balloons together into a solid base. Now we can prepare the focal balloons of this bouquet, and I'm using a mermaid tail foil balloon as well as this clamshell balloon that I got together in a kit off Amazon, which I'll link below if you'd like to use these balloons as well. Now in addition to this, I'll also be using an 18-inch happy birthday balloon, which I'll inflate in just a moment. I'm going to inflate all 3 of these foils using my hand pump so I can sneak up on the sizing of my balloons, but you could absolutely use an electric balloon inflator to get these all filled up. I'll be attaching the mermaid balloon as well as the seashell balloon to the base of the bouquet using an empty 260 balloon. And to do that, I'm going to take an empty 260 and lay it right across the very end of the nozzle of each of these balloons. Then roll the nozzle up over the middle of this 260 until it's touching the base of the balloon. Then just take the 2 ends of that 260 and tie them together in a knot, and this will not only hide the nozzle, but the tail ends of this 260 will allow me to easily tie these foils into the base later on. On the other hand, the happy birthday balloon I won't be tying to the base using the nozzle, so I just need to hide it away. And to do that, I'm going to roll up the nozzle and secure it in place using one of these glue dashes. So roll the nozzle up until it's right against the base of the balloon, and then stick the glue dash right on the rolled up portion of the nozzle and stick it to the barcode side of the balloon. So that way we not only hide the nozzle, but we cover up the barcode a little bit as well. Now we can start adding our foil balloons to our base, and we want to decide what is the front side of our base, which will have 2 balloons in front, and then I'll have 3 balloons on the back side. So I'm going to start off by taking my mermaid tail, and I want to have it coming up at an angle out of the base, with the very edge of this foil balloon sitting between 2 of my latex balloons below it. Now I'm going to take the 260 that's tied to the nozzle of my mermaid tail and gently wrap it around 1 or 2 balloons of that base. Now you don't want this to be super super snug, or our mermaid tail will want to stand up straight, and we want to keep that angle. So having the 260 nice and loose, as well as propping the mermaid tail up with this pair of balloons. Now I've inflated 2 5-inch balloons to 3 pumps of air, tied them into a pair, and I'm going to slip them under the left side of the mermaid tail and push it clear to the right side so that that 260 balloon is right between the nozzles of those 5-inch balloons. And by wedging those 2 balloons on the right hand side, it'll prop our mermaid tail to the left. With the angle of the mermaid tail figured out, I can now add in my birthday balloon, and I'm going to secure this directly in the nook of the mermaid tail using a couple glue dashes. And the important thing here is that the text of the birthday balloon stays nice and level as I'm gluing this together. Everywhere the 2 balloons touch, I'm going to add a glue dash. So I'm going to take note of one spot where those 2 balloons are touching, place my first glue dash, remove the paper backing, and stick my balloon back in place, making sure I'm paying close attention to the text on my balloon. Once I've got that first one secured, I'm going to add 1 or 2 more until the balloon is no longer floppy against the mermaid tail. Next, I tied in the seashell balloon just like I did the mermaid tail, making sure that 260 is nice and loose, and the base of that balloon is angled against those 2 5-inch balloons right in the center. Once I've added my foil balloons, I want to turn the arrangement to the side and make sure all the seams of my foil balloons are in line so that one balloon isn't leaning forwards or backwards and it looks wonky from the side. So always do the side check, and then as a final measure, I'm going to glue the seashell to the happy birthday balloon using a glue dash so that all 3 of these balloons make a solid unit and they're less likely to flop around. Now we need to make some embellishments for our bouquet, and so I'm going to take 16 5-inch balloons in an assortment of colors and inflate those anywhere between 2 and 4 pumps of air, and then tie 2 of those together into pairs. Once I've inflated and tied all 16 balloons into pairs, I'm then going to take 2 of those pairs and tie them together with a 260 balloon that I've cut in half. So on each end of this 260, I'm going to tie one of my pairs so I can very easily attach these to my bouquet later on. So just simply tie the very end of that 260 around the nozzles of each of those pairs and repeat this step until you've got 4 of these little clusters. I'm also going to inflate 8 of these crystal clear 5-inch balloons to look like bubbles. I inflated these to 2 to 4 pumps of air as well, and I tied some of them into pairs and then I left some of them as singles. The important thing is when you're tying off these balloons, you want to go back in with a pair of scissors and cut away any of the excess nozzle beyond the knot because you can see those nozzles through the clear balloons. Another way you can make bubbles is using a clear 260 balloon. If you inflate this to 3 or 4 pumps of air and then tie it off, we can make a series of bubbles in this 260 balloon to make it look like a cascade of bubbles on our display. So to do that, I'm going to take my balloon and squeeze the length of it so it's nice and soft. Then I'm going to pinch the balloon and twist it a couple times, making a bubble about 1 inch in size. Now don't let go of that first bubble and make a second one in the similar way, and then take the nozzle and wrap it around the twist after that second bubble a couple times, and then tuck it between the 2 bubbles to secure it in place. Down the entire length of this balloon, we're going to make sets of 1-inch bubbles. So starting off, I'm going to make 4 bubbles in a row, making sure I'm always twisting in the same direction, and I never let go of my first bubbles as it will unravel if you let any of this go. So once I've got 4 bubbles, I'm going to bend my balloon over so that the twist after the first bubble and the twist after the 4th bubble are touching. And then I'm going to twist this group of 3 bubbles around each other, and that's going to give me these really interesting clusters of bubbles. Instead of it being one long chain, it gives it this organic look. So by mixing up the number of bubbles that you twist together, it'll change up the size of these clusters. So you can do groups of 4, groups of 3, but you always want to leave 1 bubble in between those clusters so you get some length. Once you've turned the entire balloon into a series of bubbles, if there's any tail remaining on the end of the balloon, just tie a knot against the last bubble, and then you can either trim away that tail or use it to tie it into the bouquet later. Now I'm going to evenly distribute my accent balloons around the base. So I'm going to take my 2 pairs with the 260 between them, stretch that 260 out behind one of the balloons in the base, and then tuck it in so that you can't see it. Then it's just a matter of moving those little balloons around until you're happy with their placement. All of the clear balloons I'm going to attach in a cascade down the edge of the mermaid tail. So I'm going to take one of my clear balloon pairs and nestle it right between the 3 foil balloons so it kind of fills in that hole and will be the center point of all my bubbles. From there, I'll just use some glue dashes to secure down all of my bubble clusters and some of those individual clear 5-inch bubbles. And by having one line down the edge of the mermaid tail, it'll draw your eye up from the happy birthday balloon down through all the elements in the base, unifying the entire design with these cute bubbles. And now our mermaid bouquet is ready for a party. If you enjoyed today's project, you should check out this video tutorial next. Until I see you in a future project, remember, stay creative everybody! Bye!